Hey there, Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, well, that's on you, pal. So, why the last man? Why? Oh, why? Oh, in the early 2000s, DC Vertigo was having as a comic book line. Vertigo was DC's imprint of mature, adult-oriented awesomeness. And Brian K. Vaughan had this incredibly good series. It lasted 60 issues, 5 years, and it was called Why the Last Man? The story about Yorick Brown, who was literally the last man on Earth. Due to some kind of magic or plague, every mammal with a Y chromosome mysteriously dies all at once, except for Yorick and his pet monkey, Ampersand, who was also a male, biological male. And it lasted 60 issues, and it was really, really good. It wasn't about some utopian place where, oh, all the men are dead. Yay! Let's see what happens with the women. It was a tale of sadness and of a broken world, and and let me tell you, the last issue, the denouement of this series, was so good and perfect. The last page, the last panel. I mean, if you have it with your budget, or you have Comixology, or you can go out and find some used copies, go out and find Why the Last Man. It's a really interesting, juicy tale of the apocalypse. I mean, every man in the world drops dead all at once. And then you have Yorick, who's left. And intrigue ensues. International stuff. And it's not what it's all cracked up to be. A world without men. Well, come to now, in 2019, 2020, 2021. Why the Last Man was in development hell for a while. And now it's been put into an FX Hulu series, and now it's been canceled already. It's only 7 episodes out of a 10 episode season, and I don't think that the last 3 episodes will get aired. I don't think so. They might. I don't know. I don't care enough about it. Why? Because it sounded horrible from the get-go. It was just filled with headlines of identity politics, of gender politics, of agenda, of how good it would be to have a world without men. And also, in the time of COVID, in the time of a pandemic, having a show about a virus, it just wasn't really savory. Not quite palatable. Yet, there were some intrinsic qualities missing from the show that I got from I'm a big fan of watching episode capsules. I'm a big fan of watching my fellow YouTube creators dish about what's going on in pop culture, and episode synopses, and that it had so many boxes to check off for this thing and that cause and this agenda and this sensitivity and those feelings, that it forgot to be fun and it forgot to be entertaining. And those were 2 qualities that were found in its source material, which was an engaging adventure show, comic book rather, that could not make the transition to a post-2016 TV show. And it was bitten on its own ass by its own sense of, dare I say, feminism, and its own agenda, and its own intersectional qualities of trying to, cram in all of this messaging, that it forgot at its core that, TV shows should be entertaining and they should be fun. And here's a case of, wow, a show that was just way too preachy for its own good. And then tried to, skew lines of like, what is biology? Is it just a social construct? You know what I mean? Who gets to stay alive? So are people who make transitions still alive? I I didn't care enough to even tune in. I don't do Hulu. That's it's a Disney property. I don't do Disney. I don't do D plus. I don't even do Marvel anymore. It's just there's something about the creator cultures that are just so overwhelmingly obnoxious and demeaning that if you were to criticizing this would mean punching down on vulnerable people. I don't buy that. That's bullshit. As I love to say, I'm from the South Boston projects. I grew up in a culture of poor people and of needy people always angling for leverage to try to get their way in life, to try to get their way over you. I, unfortunately, see through bullshit, and I don't buy it. So, could this have been a good show? Yes, it could have been if they stuck to the source material and the spirit of it. There's some impossibility with that these days. There's just no way around it. Things have to be agenda laden. Things have to be, we need to put in, activism in everything. And remember, activism is the opposite of escapism. We go to these fictional worlds to escape the world's problems, not to be constantly reminded of them. And this is probably why this show failed out of the gate, because it just couldn't be entertaining. It had to be activist. And is this the fate of the activist agendas in entertainment? Hopefully so. I mean, there's nothing wrong with activism. There's a time and a place for it. Is it at our sporting events? Is it in our entertainments? No, I don't think so. Not unless you can do it story first, and have the activism, have the message, have whatever didactic learning moment smuggled in the story and make it palatable. Remember, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. That's Mary Poppins. There is no sugar. It's just all bitter medicine, and you need to take it. No, I don't. I reject it. And I would have been into this show. I would have tuned in if it wasn't for the fact I can smell a stinker a mile away. I really can. And I can't be sold on it. So hopefully creators of entertainment can take the cue of things since 2016, of all these failures, of all these different franchises and of all these entertainments, of all these sources of escapism that activism's been pushed into. I mean, they've gone broke, huh? Haven't they? I mean, they don't sell. I mean, people, there is middle America still. There are blue-collared people. I mean, this doesn't, it's too highfalutin. Sorry. I mean, there was nothing wrong with Why the Last Man until it became awful with this. So if you want to experience Why the Last Man, go read the book. It's great. It really is. And, that's all I got to say on Why the Last Man, the TV show. And, it died stillbirth. Yeah, that's horrible, But that's about it. So, hey, if you like this kind of content, well, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this, well, give me a thumbs down. I'm a big lad. I can handle it. Leave a comment in the comments section if you'd like to continue this conversation. And give me a subscribe if you can be so kind. I just hit over 100 subscribers. And I'd love to, shoot for the moon and get 1,000 someday, or even more. I'd like to be part of your pop culture YouTube experience. I like to be positive about pop culture. I even go on an occasional rant. That's just being balanced. I'm an ordained minister and amateur theologian, so on Sundays I do the Sunday sermon. I'm also a professional chef. I like to share my cooking hacks with you to give you restaurant quality food that you can make at home to impress your loved ones, your families and friends, and with nutritious, delicious, and beautiful and tasty food. And if you do make something I suggest, I want to see pictures, please. Share them. And but that's all I got for today. Thank you so very much. So, yeah, I'm asking why? Why? Why do this? You have all these resources and you have an opportunity to make entertainment, to make TV, to make a TV show. You had this opportunity. This is great. Not everyone gets this opportunity. Is this a wasted opportunity? In my humble opinion, yeah, it is. I mean, well, it's only going to take failure to learn from this stuff. And hopefully we can get some escapism back in our entertainment pretty darn quick. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Reverend Sully, and God bless and namaste. Thank you.